Patrick knows this. That's like my go-to joke. It's like the only joke that sticks in my brain, basically. Thanks to still got it at 11 o'clock.
It's in December, Beth. We got married in December.
Yeah, 2016. I had to think about it. 2016.
About 2.5 minutes, and then we're going to get going on this tour. For those of you that are just joining, if you happen to be new to us, we should say, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're glad you're here. This is an unusually later tour for us.
Oh, there we go, Joan, look in the chat. There's JB put in that link. How long have we been together?
Well, we met in 2010.
You did, Mike.
Oh, we did, yes.
Emporio, yeah.
We passed by it on our New York at night, Little Italy Chinatown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, police car just went by. Not coming after us.
Well, we don't know. They might be like, that tour is so good, we need to arrest them.
Ashia's mom here.
Oh,
wait.
No way.
I know, I saw Ashia's name pass by earlier. Is that Ashia?
Let's see.
Our Hego guide, Ashia? I wasn't sure.
Wait, she is doing a tour. Is it tomorrow?
Oh, yes, she is.
Oh,
hi!
Is it tomorrow, Ashia, that you're doing? We saw you posted one, and oh.
Well, oh my goodness. So check out Ashia's tour.
Oh, it was earlier.
Oh, shoot.
A 2-hour shorty.
That's right.
Listen,
I saw that it was a shorty.
If we'd been on, I guarantee we would have been begging for a third hour because you all, for those that never got to see Ashia's tours, they were really special. You always felt a little smarter.
Yeah, I feel a little smarter after I think I know something about the planet and how it was formed.
I know something. Oh my. We tried to get out to see Ashia, not last summer, the summer before.
Yeah.
And it just it didn't happen. It's going to happen though. We're going to come knocking on your door. You least expect it. We'll have like a bunch of sunflowers and a box of chocolates and hug you and Aria.
Yeah. You were on Ronnie's first tour. Well, fantastic. Well, you definitely try to check out Ronnie's tours before this all this ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of ending, the opposite of ending is what?
The beginning.
I'm horrible at the segues to get us going, but it's time to get going. We're so happy you're all with us. It's go time on our end.
That's
our
right.
Light turned green, and we're thrilled you're with us tonight. It is 11:15 p.m. in New York City. It's 11 o'clock.
A little late for us.
Yeah. It's 10 degrees Celsius. It's 51 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a moody night in New York.
It's moody, yeah.
When we round the building to see the Chrysler building, you'll see it's a little wrapped in a fog cloak, which looks quite moody and fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she is in Yellowstone. It drizzled all day long, Joan. We just kind of had this drizzliness all day long.
Yeah.
It is a live tour, as you can see. Here we are answering Joan's questions and talking about Ashia. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us along the way. We don't have to deal with too much traffic this evening because once we head inside to the Grand Central, we don't have to deal with vehicles. We won't even have to deal with too many pedestrians. I hope I'm not jinxing us.
I know, it should be pretty quiet inside Grand Central this late at night.
Yeah.
And thank you, Tanya. That was, I'm going to just call her both names.
Well, maybe there are two of them there. She said both, A and B. Maybe there are two at home. You want to take it away?
Yeah, you can take pictures on this tour. Anytime you see something that you like, hit that center button, or sometimes it's on the side, depending on what device you're using. And that picture will be saved in your Hego profile. You can then go back into your profile and save those pictures and text them to your friends, and say, hey, look where I've been.
Yeah, but get those downloads quickly done, because we don't know when they disappear.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, in terms of our future plans post Hago, we are very sad that Hago is ending. We have loved our time with Hago, and we wish it was continuing on for all of us because we love the platform truly. And we are trying to figure out the future, and you've seen on our Facebook and our Instagram, and some of you are part of the mailing list that John Wright has put up. We are, I feel like we're driving a car that has square wheels, but we are still moving forward and trying to figure it out. Thank you for putting those links in. So bear with us as we figure it out. Also, on that same topic, as we get going on the tour, let's save any Hago future chat for the end of the tour and just enjoy New York City and Grand Central and the Chrysler building as we make our way through this evening's tour. In terms of technical issues, every now and then we have some technical issues, not so much inside, right? Usually it's only outside. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I think we'll be okay this evening. But if we see our signal dip, we'll let you know. And I was going to try to make a double dip cone joke, but I couldn't come up with it. So now we're all thinking about double dip cones from Dairy Queen. All right, let's get going.
Let's go.
Now I want Dairy Queen. Mimi, we do, and I'm trying to think of the new Join AP
Adventures at gmail.com.
Yeah, join AP Adventures at gmail.com. So there's the moody Chrysler building this evening. Again, it's been drizzling all day and a fog has rolled in, but it's still really kind of cool to see it lit up like that. This beautiful Art Deco building, which is a nice little, this van is backing up right to us.
Coming right for us.
Art Deco building. We'll see a lot of Art Deco this evening, and it's a nice little precursor to Ronnie's tour on Monday in Chicago. He's doing an Art Deco tour there to check out. 1,046 feet or 319 meters. It's 77 stories. It was completed May of 1930. Started September of 1928, and they did about I can't say
Easy
it.
for you to say.
4 floors a week. four. Oh, this is closed.
Oh my gosh, we're right in the middle of the workshop.
We're in the middle of a construction go. Here we can go this way.
All right, let's go over here. Hang on, sorry.
We can go.
You didn't realize.
All of a sudden, we're in a manhole. We're just like, so this is a New York City sewer, everybody. Welcome.
All right.
Well, he couldn't have been nicer.
He was nice about it.
All right, we'll show a little bit here before we mosey, or do you want to go to the corner and then we'll show whatever you want? So they're doing clearly a bunch of street work here, but give us a second while we clear some scaffolding. Oh, they closed even the sidewalk since we were here.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness. There we go. All right, now we're back. Now we're back in business. And so we're at the corner of 42nd and Lexington now, right now, by the way. So this is the Chrysler building. It was built, it was constructed and owned by Walter Chrysler for the Chrysler Car Corporation, but the corporation never owned it. Walter himself paid for it so that his children could inherit it. Now it's going to disappear from view for a second.
We'll go back to the Chrysler building once we get past this scaffolding, because we'll get a little farther away shot, and we'll get to see the top a little more clearly, even though it's foggy.
Now, once we clear it, some of you, I just want to, as we're walking up there, I want to mention the zoning, 1916 zoning resolution. Some of you have heard us talk about it before, but that really called for the setbacks in the buildings to let light in. As the buildings got taller and taller, they had to have these setbacks. And the Chrysler building is a perfect example of those setbacks up there. So, it really is a beautiful contribution to our skyline. It's kind of the pinnacle of the Art Deco design here in New York City. The top is a sunburst design. It's often thought to be a hubcap of a car, but really it's supposed to be a crown. But the building still does have a lot of car influence around it. Hood ornaments that are gargoyles. There's a lot of car influence all around that building up there. Specifically the 1929 Chrysler radiator caps are, they've got corner ornaments that look just like that. Now, one interesting thing about this building is that when it was being built, there was a race to be the tallest building in the world at the time. And the Chrysler building was racing with 40 Wall Street downtown. And William Van Allen, who was the architect, he secretly got approval from Walter Chrysler to build a spire of about 125 feet or 38 meters within the building secretly, so that at the last minute they could hoist it up and take over 40 Wall Street to be the tallest building in the world. And that's exactly what they did. They held that title for about a year, and then the Empire State Building took over. But we still have
It
this.
really is moody. Look, you
It
can
is.
see
I love it.
the fog just sort of like hovering around.
You guys didn't know you were on an Ansel Adams tour this evening, did you? Surprise! The Chrysler building the Chrysler family did ultimately sell the building in the 50s. Now it's a general office building with a lot of different tenants. And believe it or not, you didn't know it, but we are right in front of Grand Central Terminal now. So just walking right up the block from the Chrysler building, puts us right in front of the Grand Central. It is the pinnacle of Beaux-Arts right here. 1913 it was built. It's known as Grand Central Terminal and not station because the trains terminate here. They don't simply pass through like a station.
End of the line.
Yep. There's so many jokes coming into my brain. This was built by Cornelius Vanderbilt. It was designed by Reed and Stem, who did the overall design, and Warren and Wetmore, who did the cosmetic design. Now, it came about through a competition, but there was a little bit of shadiness. So Reed and Stem were selected first. Warren and Wetmore appealed the decision, and they were ultimately added on. Now, what's shady about that is Warren of Warren and Wetmore was the cousin to Cornelius Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was the owner of the New York Central Railroad, and he was upgrading the depot here to this new Grand Central Terminal. Now, looking at the facade, notice these arches. They're just these triumphant gateway arches that are beautiful. And as we go up in between that middle one, you're going to see a clock up there with a sculpture around it. The clock is about 13 feet wide, just to give you an idea of the size of that.
That's massive.
It is massive. That wouldn't even fit in our apartment. That's wild to think about. The number 6, by the way, can open up like a little tiny door, and they can service the clock from the number 6. It's all Tiffany glass, and it's surrounded by a sculpture made of Indiana limestone known as the Glory of Commerce by Jules Felix Couton, also known as Transportation. And Minerva, the goddess of wisdom, is up there. Hercules, known for his heroic strength. Mercury, the god of merchants and travelers. Beautiful. I love how it's lit at night as well.
Yeah. It's nice for all of us to get to enjoy it.
Oh, Dr. Benita, that's all Patrick. He's the artistic eye of all that. And then right there, as we go down through that middle arch, you see a teeny tiny sculpture there of none other than Cornelius Vanderbilt himself. Now, he does seem a little bit disproportionate right here. And the reason for that is he was created for a whole nother depot, which was down by 23rd Street, down by Madison Square Park. And when they tore down that depot and built Grand Central Terminal here, they just brought the statue up here. So it's a little bit of a holdover from downtown, just like Petula Clark. All right, so in front of us, you'll see this archway that says Pershing Square Plaza right there. So that is kind of this iconic little entrance into Grand Central. It's named for General John J. Pershing, who was a World War I hero. And in large part, that was because of how many soldiers passed through Grand Central. It's modeled after the Pont Alexandre III Bridge in Paris, and it's lit beautifully tonight.
It is.
It's interesting. It shows up kind of purple on the camera, and for us, it's a little more white, but it looks cooler on the screen.
Yeah, they're sort of a pinkish hue, but definitely looks more purpley.
Yeah. So we're on 42nd Street right now. We're going to enter in the 42nd Street entrance. I think we got it.
No cars are coming. Let's go.
And as we make our way in, we're going to be entering into the Vanderbilt Hall. Grand Central is open until 2 a.m., by the way, 5:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. So, yes, exactly, Barbara. Anderson Cooper's granddad, Vanderbilt. You got it. He's part, or would it be great granddad?
I think it might be.
Might be, yeah. But the same lineage. You're absolutely right. So, part of our hope, too, is that we'll get a nice quiet evening in Grand Central. I probably just jinxed us, and we'll have to deal with some...
All of a sudden, we're going to get spring breakers. Dancing through.
Well, that would be kind of
Maybe we'll
fun.
see a flash mob.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Flash mobs have been very popular in Grand Central. So we're entering into Vanderbilt Hall right now. And Vanderbilt Hall would have been the waiting area, the waiting room for the train terminal. And so there would be benches lined up all through here. And the benches are no longer here. They don't because it's more of a commuting station now. They don't. They don't have the benches anymore. There's a lot of discussion about that, by the way, just recently in the news.
Yeah, I just put a picture in of what this waiting room looked like. When the station was first built, the terminal. So as you can imagine, people waited for their trains in luxury. Those beautiful plants, and there's one bench left over. If you were able to see that picture I posted, there's one bench left over in the corner.
There's this particular hall is now used for events. It's used for the holiday market is here. It's a cool venue that they use for quite a few things. And on the other side of the Vanderbilt Hall, this side, you can see City Winery, which I think there might be one in, Ronnie could probably confirm, I think there's one in Chicago. I think there's a couple around this in the country. I think there's one in LA as well. But it is a venue with food and live music, although because it's late night here, not so live music. All right, we're heading into the main hall. And let's chat about how this all came to be. So, Cornelius Vanderbilt himself was a native of Staten Island, which is one of our 5 boroughs, and at age 16, that's right, age 16, he created a ferry boat service between Staten Island and Manhattan. Now, there were other ferry boat services, so that wasn't such a novel idea. What was incredible that he did was that he created a ferry service that had a schedule, and the other ferry boats would just wait until they filled up, and then they'd take off. And the schedule is what really set him, on the map and made him quite popular. And his shipping industry took off quickly up at the Hudson River, the Atlantic coast, beyond, including all the way to San Francisco during the 1949 gold rush. And then in the 50s, he saw the potential of the railroad system if it just had a little organization. So he bought up stock in all the local railroads and combined them to create this vast transportation network and, of course, powerful family empire. And in 1871, he opened the Grand Central Depot, and that's what the Grand Central Terminal replaced. Ultimately, that Grand Central Depot was just outdated. It had platforms for each different train line, and because he was combining the train lines, it made more sense to have one combined station at that point in time, thus Grand Central Terminal.
I'm just going to come and walk over to the original ticket windows because they're so ornate and cool, and this would never happen now, of course, if there was a brand new train station.
Ronnie said, "Oh, yes, you do. The City Winery, right." I thought there was one there. I don't know how that was in my brain, but...
And this whole wall is lined with ticket booths. There's, I don't know, maybe 15 or so ticket windows on this side as well as on the other side. So, as you can imagine, the train travel was all there was back then when it first opened. So the joint was jumping, as they say.
So there was I mentioned earlier there was a terminal a station down on 23rd Street. But the problem was that was where most of the population was in Manhattan, was down there 23rd Street and below. But with these trains coming in, as trains became more and more popular, we also got pollution. So the city said no more trains below 42nd Street. Trains would have to unhitch when they got here to 42nd Street and be pulled by horses downtown. So that's where the idea of getting the depot came up here at 42nd Street. Plus, around the turn of the century, Times Square started to grow. We got electricity. And so therefore, this Grand Central Terminal came to be.
Sharon, it's pretty echoey in here. It's, if I yelled across the room, I think Aaron would hear me.
Hello, hello, hello.
A few times.
Take note of the beautiful clock right here in the middle. I mean, this is an iconic spot to say, hey, I'll meet you at the clock in Grand Central. It is valued at $20 million because of the white opal faces around it. Designed by Connecticut clock company Seth Thomas. And take note of the acorn on top. It's a symbol of the Vanderbilt family, as in mighty oaks out of little acorns grow. Mighty oaks out of little acorns grow. And we'll see a bit of a acorn motif all throughout the terminal this evening as we mosey through this grand building.
If you look at this shot we have set up right now with the clock there and those arches in the back, it might look somewhat familiar. Saturday Night Live, the sketch comedy show here in the States, uses this as sort of their main set is based on Grand Central Terminal.
Lynn, as far as I know, nobody's tried to steal it. It would be it's in a precarious position, so it would be very noticeable. And somebody said, wasn't 42nd Street sketchy back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Well, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, yes, and part of the 90s. But it's gotten a lot better now.
So as we're going to move to the corner to show off the beautiful ceiling, which you've caught some glimpses of already. But know that there are 67 tracks here, 44 platforms, 49 acres. The tracks are on 2 levels. The ceiling is 12 stories high, about 125 feet high, or 38 meters. And trains do a loop. Because it's a terminal, because they terminate here, they go down to 40th and Park, just 2 blocks south here. They loop around there
They
to
just
continue
turn around.
on.
They don't go upside down loop.
Yeah, that would be really cool, like a roller coaster. That'd be incredible. Now take notice of the ceiling. It's by French artist Paul Helou, zodiac ceiling featuring 12 constellations painted in gold leaf. Plus,
What's his last name?
Helou.
Oh, hello.
Hello to you too. Painted in gold leaf, 2,500 stars, 59 of them are illuminated. And the idea was that they would always be illuminated. And the reason for that was they wanted to show off the electricity here. Electricity was relatively new. And so that's why you'll see all throughout the terminal exposed bulbs, pretty much everywhere, exposed bulbs to show off that electricity. We'll get a really good shot of some of those exposed bulb chandeliers when we're downstairs as well. Now, we're going to pan around and show a little corner up above. And I want you to take note of...
who changes the bulbs? A very, very brave people.
Yeah, there was a joke in there
really
somewhere.
Tall ladders.
I was trying to figure it out, but I don't know who. I couldn't get the joke in there.
I don't know how many workers it does take to change the light bulb. So.
But notice this dark patch right there. So this is what the entire ceiling looked like up until the 90s when they did a major cleaning and a restoration. They left this little patch to show what it looked like before. And that was not from the train smoke. Nope, that was from the people smoke, from nicotine and tar from cigarettes. Just not attractive.
I mean, it's wild to know that the whole ceiling was that color and they restored it back to this gorgeous blue color. I think probably a lot of New Yorkers didn't even know that it was that color for many years.
Yeah, which will, I mean, we'll see another mural on a ceiling soon, and that'll give you a really good idea of what that might have looked like. So we're going to head downstairs right now. And as we're heading this way, take notice of the staircase above us. So that came about in the renovation in the 90s as well. It was part of the original plans, but they never did it ultimately. So when they did that renovation in the 90s, they added the staircase in. And in fact, they opened up the same quarry in Tennessee to match the marble here. Now, as we go down, that's where you used to buy local tickets, and upstairs up here is where you would buy interstate tickets. So local was downstairs, interstate was upstairs. Now everything here is local. So
Lisa asked if they. Oh, you can hear the echo here.
Ooh.
Lisa asked if buses leave from here. They do not leave from here, Lisa. The Port Authority bus terminal at 42nd Street and 8th Avenue. That's where all the buses depart from. Most of them.
Yeah. So the trains from here, they basically go to Connecticut and Long Island. And
yeah,
then
this is all commuter now. It used to be for farther travel, but now it's all commuter.
And Penn Station has the interstate travel, basically. Yeah. So we're going to come over here to one of the track entrances and just show you some of the detail above as we make our way over here.
You can already see it, that beautiful stonework above the door. I mean, just imagine as you're entering the train platform, you get to enter it with such, in such grandeur. That kind of masonry, that would never happen in today's world if they built a new station. So I just love that they took the care to make the whole building, so beautiful.
You're right, Joan. I neglected Poughkeepsie. How can I neglect Poughkeepsie? So you can see down here, it's quiet because it's so late. But this is all food vendors now. And it's really kind of cool. It's a lot of New York food vendors that are down here.
Even these, I'm so sorry.
No,
Even these like ventilation grates. I mean, those are so beautiful. That must take forever to create. And that's a great.
Now, this little information booth that's right here in the middle, Just keep in mind, this is directly below the information booth that's upstairs, directly below the Acorn clock. And right there in the middle, that white cylinder you're looking at, that's a spiral staircase that goes directly up into that information booth upstairs, a little sneaky spiral staircase. No, Valerie, Amtrak is at Penn Station. Here we have the Long Island Railroad and Metro North.
Years ago, Amtrak used to leave for long trips from Grand Central, but no longer. That hasn't happened for a long time. And someone, oh yeah, nicotine. Yes, somebody answered that question.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that dark patch was from nicotine.
Yep. I'm kind of loving this late night walk with nobody in our shots, which is really awesome. To Long Island. Oh, it's, believe it or not, it's brand new to Long Island. That tells me you didn't join our Subway Art Part 3, Grand Central Madison, where we talk about the fact that, just 2 months ago, they opened up to Long Island.
Yeah, it was just recently that they opened up travel to Long Island from here, Grand Central Terminal.
Now, this is the Oyster Bar, classic Oyster Bar. It's been here since the station opened. And it can tend to be a touch on the pricey side, but it is also quite worth it because it is so iconic and old school. It feels like taking a step back in time. There's some counters to the right, and that's where you can get a little lunch at the counter, and more formal seating is on the left as well.
The Long Island Railroad also mainly is out of Penn Station. I love the counter service over there. You can see if you come at lunchtime and just sit at the counter, it's a little bit cheaper. If you want to have an oyster bar experience, we recommend, and you don't want to spend a lot of money, we recommend sitting at the counter for lunch.
And take notice of the light fixtures. So it seems quite odd in this train station to have boats, but I bet, oh thanks Sharon, if you've been tuning in the whole time, you can guess why they're there, and that's because of Vanderbilt, because his industry began in shipping. So this is a little nod to Vanderbilt, those light fixtures up there, which is pretty cool. Mike, I wish there were leftovers. I don't even see anybody in there at all.
They've closed up shop.
Yeah, there's your lovely guides in that mirror. Hello. And we're going to take a walk over here to show off this ceiling, this beautiful tiled ceiling. These are the Guastavino tiles. And you can see they're in this sort of herringbone design that's supposed to be very robust and self-supporting and really quite beautiful as well.
Oh, yeah.
But they also have another little fun, what would we call it? A fun thing, secret, I guess. Yeah, secret to them. So Patrick's going to leave us. Goodbye, Patrick. Don't worry, he's coming back. And we're going to say hello to him right now. So, hi, Patrick. How's it going?
All aboard, all aboard, track 29, all aboard. Tickets, please, tickets.
Nowadays, they'd be on your phone. This is, oh, how funny. Somebody literally just said, Willie Dan's back.
There's so much room in here.
Yes, Ronnie, we've been to the Biltmore, and believe it or not, we got to see Guastavino's, not grave, what's it called, in the chapel.
Oh, his
in Asheville, his tomb.
Yeah.
They took us privately up to see it. It was wild. I mean, on the tour actually.
Yeah, we went in and the guy was so friendly. He was like, "Oh, you want to see where he's buried?"
Yeah, the crypt. Thank you, crypt. Yeah, couldn't come up with the word.
We're like, "Sure, I guess so."
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to actually see him, right?
He's like, "Hello, you like my tiles?"
He was like, "Hello,
hello." That's my friend Paul. All right, so we're coming up this ramp. Now, the original idea was that this ramp was going to be stairs, but as they were working on Grand Central, they decided to go back to Roman principles. Think of the Colosseum with the ramps. And they decided to put in ramps instead, and what great foresight they had to do that. It's pretty wild to think how much easier it is now.
Karen, that was Guastavino's crypt. He's buried in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm just going to put a picture in the chat because I love, first of all, I love this view of they were so proud of their electricity and just letting these exposed light bulbs shine. But I'm going to put a picture that I found of kind of this same shot from years ago in the chat. So I love that they've kept it so beautiful, as it was built originally.
Karen, I should say that the Guastavino crypt isn't at Biltmore. It's in downtown Asheville.
Yeah.
I forget the
It's a
little chapel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's in downtown Asheville, and you can walk inside. It's pretty wild. It's
Yeah.
right there, and literally the crypt keeper, we'll call him, opened the door for us.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, you want to see it?" I was like, "Okay."
All right, here we go. Speaking of here we go, we're going to move away from that. We'll go back into the main hall in just a little bit, but I do want to talk about Jackie Kennedy, or Jackie Onassis. She really helped save Grand Central. So sadly, there was a period of time in the 60s, well, even before the 60s, but
Yeah.
a lot of really incredible buildings were being torn down that needed to be saved. And so she stepped up for Grand Central because there was going to be a business tower going up on top of it, essentially. And that fight began in 1975. She fought hard. 1978, Supreme Court ruled in favor of Grand Central and the New York landmark law. So we really have Jackie Kennedy, as well as a slew of others, lawyers and historians and architects who stepped up to help save Grand Central.
Tracy, we did go in on that tour in Asheville. We went into
Yeah,
the chapel.
yeah, I'm
we went
pretty
in.
sure we did.
That's the chapel, Tracy, where Guastavino is buried. And no, He didn't have a Sid. Guastavino, one word. That's the man who designed those beautiful arched tiles.
Now we're going to show you a little bit of subway art. We're not going to go into the subway, even though this is the subway entrance. But we just want to show you this mural here, a public art installation. It's called "I Dreamed a World and Called It Love." And this is by Jim Hodges. And this was just installed, 2020, I think this went in, not too long ago.
Yeah.
Over 5,000 individually cut pieces of glass in more than 70 colors. Now, it doesn't look like 70 colors here, but it will as we go down. This one is blue because it's supposed to reflect the image of the blue ceiling in Grand Central. And now this one is much more colorful because it's supposed to reflect all the people who pass through Grand Central every day. That's Jim Hodges' idea with these two different looks, which was just, it's just so, I love it. It's so beautiful and bright. And
Yes, thank you, Tracy. That those little small sculptures was on our April Fool's tour. That was the 14th Street subway station. They have those cute little Tom Otterness statues there.
And again, we have over 5,000 individually cut pieces of glass, over 70 colors, more than 700 square feet. So Hodges said his desire, we're going to get another look at or do the work for us. And we're going to go up right now. Sometimes our signal glitches on the escalator right up, but not for very long. Mike, it's about 70 feet long. So Hodges said his desire was to rise to the occasion of the historic context of Grand Central and celebrate the people who give New York its identity for many years to come. So the lower part is the celebration of the people, and the upper part, that blue, is the iconic, supposed to reflect the iconic blue ceiling of Grand Central itself. Love that so much.
I just want to mention that Aaron and I just both rode that escalator backwards.
And got off backwards. We should have done like a gymnast hand thing, like stuck the landing. All right, so by the way, that would have taken us into the 4, 5, and 6 trains, the 7 train, and the S train, which is a shuttle between Grand Central and Times Square. The subway is 24/7, runs all through the night, and we have over 720 miles of track of subway. It started in 1904, the subway system.
This train terminal is a whole city block long. That's how large it is. So there's it's a whole complex. It's not open right now, the market, but we're going to walk you over to there's even a little market in here. If you on your way home, if you forgot your spouse's anniversary or birthday or something, you can pick up some flowers or some delicious cheese or chocolates. We'll show you inside, but it's closed right now.
If you need a fat pig, you can go to market. So it's called Grand Central Market. It's about 13 vendors that are in here. And they're, for the most part, they're all sort of New York-based vendors, and which including Murray's Cheese, is in there, which is, of course, one of the iconic cheese shops of New York City. Somebody asked how much to build Grand Central. I honestly don't know the answer. Do you?
I don't know. I wonder if someone could do a quick Google search and let us know.
We could play a Price is Right game. Who gets it closest without going over the number?
It's a really neat market, though, and the joint is definitely jumping during business hours.
Was that a question about a subway museum? Was that
I think the Subway Museum is in Brooklyn, actually.
Yeah, downtown Brooklyn, and it's terrific if you're coming to New York, especially if you have kids, because they get to go on all the old buses and the old subways and pretend like they're driving them, and you see all the old advertisements, and it's really terrific. It's also right by the original Juniors, so you can get yourself a piece of cheesecake as well. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's better than that? So where we're headed right now is known as the Gray Bar Passage. So when Grand Central went up, a lot of businesses wanted to have their buildings right by Grand Central to make commuting for their workers super easy. They could commute to Grand Central, exit, and boom, right in their building. So a lot of these little corridors popped up. This one's called the Gray Bar Passage, and it connects Grand Central to the Gray Bar building, which was kind of an electric company building. Now it's got a few other businesses in there. But we like coming over here because we want to show off this mural that's up here above us. It's by Edward Trumbull. It was painted in 1927, and it's devoted to the Jazz Age industry and innovation. So it's got 4 sides to it that each show influential technologies that kind of shaped the world. A train being pulled by an electric locomotive, the raising of the skyscraper. Someone is singing at the end of...
I know.
That's like a... What is that? It's a theme song.
I don't know, but they have a lovely voice.
They really do.
Oh my God, I'm hypnotized.
I know, it's kind of, I don't know if you guys are hearing it or not, but it is haunting. I actually love it. It sounds like an HBO theme song. That's what it sounds like. So the different panels are a train being pulled by an electric locomotive, the raising of a skyscraper, aviation, and manufacturing of steel.
Yeah, so there's the aviation panel. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see the planes. This mural is... Honestly, it's in need of some love. It really needs to be worked on because his murals are typically bright and colorful, and this one is just, it's just aged so much. It just really needs to be renovated. But right now, your terrible mural.
I wasn't ready for that one. Lindsay. Your choir sang here when you were in high school about 20 years ago. That is really, really cool. I love that. Will you see the old station manager's office?
Oh, you mean the
Oh, that part it's the area that's being redone right now, right?
Yeah, or do you mean the Campbell apartment?
Oh, I bet that's what you mean. John Campbell's apartment, which is now the Campbell Bar. Is that what you mean? Let us know as we make our way back in. So there's also a tennis club here in Grand Central. It's on the 4th floor. It's known as the Vanderbilt Tennis Club. And it's open to the public. We can't film up there. The apartment, yeah, Paul, of course. It's known as the Vanderbilt Tennis Club. It is open to the public, but we can't film up there, but you can go. If you really want to explore around Grand Central, you can take the elevator up there and check it out. They'll let you kind of poke around. Originally, it was CBS Studios. Ed Murrow would broadcast from there, as well as What's My Line. There was a CBS antenna on top of the Chrysler building. So the thing about the Campbell apartment is they won't let us film in there.
Yeah, we tried. We tried a few times.
Yeah.
And we've got moxie, so we'll try it. We'll walk in and just see what they say.
Yeah.
And we've tried it on a handful of occasions, and they've said, you get out of here. And I'm just going to point out that this is where, I'm going to use my finger, but this is the tennis courts up there. So they get those really cool windows while they're playing tennis.
Marianne loved What's My Line. Well, that's it filmed here, up there where Patrick was pointing. And regarding the apartment, by the way, we will chat a little bit more about that in just about 2 minutes, honestly, because we'll point out where that is. But we'll make our way over to show you one of the tracks to kind of go out there. Now, on our way there, I'm also going to tell you about a secret track that's here. It's known as it's track 61, and it leads to a special platform. So if you were wealthy, you could have your own train car just pull up to that platform, and you would get let out right there, and you could take the elevator right into the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and not have to deal with the regular people in Grand Central. But that was also more commonly used by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who famously didn't want folks to see that he was a paraplegic. So they could go to that platform and get into a freight elevator with him and his limo and take him up into the Waldorf Astoria Hotel.
We will, Paul. We'll point where that Campbell Bar is when we get over there. But we just wanted to show you, once you get onto the tracks, it's just like a normal train platform. There's one of the commuter trains there, but you get to walk. You get off of your train, and immediately you get this beautiful ironwork here, these doors, and you walk into this gorgeous room, having just gotten off your train. I just love it so much.
It's really perfect. They used to have a light show at the holiday time. Joan, do you remember that? Did you ever come see the light show here at the holiday season? I loved it so much. They haven't done it for years, and they would project lights on the ceiling. And it was like a 5-minute show. They would do it every 10 or 15 minutes. It was so cool. I just loved it. Now, we've talked a lot about the apartment, but I'll give you a little bit more of the details on that. So it's known as the Campbell Apartment. 1923, John Campbell, who was on the board of the New York Central Railroad, was looking for an office space in Midtown. And there was actually a spot that was available here in Grand Central. So it really wasn't an apartment. It was really just his office space. That was in 1923. It was very opulent. He died in 1957. The space fell into disrepair for quite some time, and they reopened it in 99 as a very fancy cocktail bar.
I'm just going to excuse my finger, but the apartment is back in this corner of the building, just on the other side of that wall. Here, I'll do you one better, Paula. Here, I'll put a picture of the Campbell apartment in the chat.
And there's one right next.
It is, yeah. And then there's one more that we have that's more recent.
You can't, FYI, you cannot get in there from inside the building. So you have to exit and go out and around to get into the Campbell apartment proper, or the Campbell Bar, they technically call it now. It's remarkable to see Grand Central this quiet, isn't it?
I think Tracy mentioned earlier that it's kind of like early in the pandemic when the city was empty.
It is, and we
outdoors,
had it. We had it to ourselves. So those windows on the other side, they're about 90 feet tall, 27 meters, and they're double pane. And when I say double pane, I mean massively double pane, so double paned that there is a walkway between each window. So you can see folks walking straight through from one side of the building to the other in the middle of those windows during the daytime when offices are open.
And someone asked about the Apple store. I think it was Lindsay maybe. Yeah, it's right on the other side there. You can see the Apple logo at the top of those stairs there. That whole second floor, even over here on that left side, is an Apple store, which is, smart way to use the space if they're not using it.
Yeah. That's all I got. You got anything else, Patrick?
That's it. What do we have coming up? Oh, we should tell them. We did tell them about postponing
Monday.
Postponing Monday. We mentioned it on the last tour.
Yeah.
So our final tour is scheduled for Monday. Now, here is the deal. Aaron, without giving too much information away, Aaron got a really great opportunity to film a scene in a television show. And so he's gonna take that opportunity, and we're going to reschedule our final tour for Sunday. We have not put it on the schedule yet, but we're going to do our final tour and stroll on Sunday at 4:30, I think is what we're planning to do. It's not on the schedule yet, but it will be. We promise.
Thank you for the congratulations. I'm playing a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's a big tip on what the show is as well.
Yeah.
Gung,
gung.
Dun, dun,
Where'd
dun,
that noise come
dun. So we'll be switching that. I bet tomorrow morning that'll land on the schedule. It also means we will be canceling our Little Italy Chinatown tour Monday morning. But having said that, this is a perfect opportunity to mention that you can still see that tour over on our new YouTube page. Join AP Adventures, at Join AP Adventures. Donna, I'm not at liberty to say. But it's You can see Little Italy's up already. Chinatown is going up in the next day or two. Thanks, JV.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for those links, everyone. Yes, much appreciated.
Yeah. And you watched it this morning.
Yes, Natasha, 4:30 Eastern. We haven't put it
Yeah.
up yet, but we will. We'll do that. Maybe we'll do that tonight.
Yeah.
When we get home.
Yeah. Other tours coming up tomorrow morning. We're going to be walking across part of the Brooklyn Bridge, and then tomorrow evening we're back at Macy's showing off the flower show again. And we do not have a tour on Friday. On Saturday we're doing Greenwich Village, and we're also going to be doing our new Central Park tour, Central Park 5, The Ramble.
A brand new tour.
Which is what I feel like I've been doing, rambling.
Even at the end. Maureen, are those going to be live tours? Do you mean our final tour that we're rescheduling to Sunday? Yes, that is indeed live. The Little Italy Chinatown and the other one that we're putting up on YouTube. What did we just talk about? No.
Yeah.
Little Italy Chinatown.
Yeah, there are two of them.
Those are on YouTube, Maureen. Those that we'll put on our YouTube channel they will be pre-recorded Hago tours. We're calling them Hago reruns. Rerun. Hey, Raj. Anybody watch What's Happening?
There'll be a mix. Right now
Sorry.
Oh, there we are. We might have gone away for a minute. The ones on YouTube of Little Italy right now are a pre-recorded tour, but there will also be, as Patrick said, the Hago reruns, which will be literally our Hago tour with us chatting with you all, and the hellos and everything, and the Paul hellos and everything. Literally just put on for anybody who wants to relive one of those Hago tours. We've downloaded some of those old ones.
Yeah,